guys, and welcome to Besterday, where nostalgia reigns supreme. I'm Bianca, and I'm the ultimate 90s baby. So Besterday is a podcast where we reminisce on the songs that had your heart, the movies that made you laugh, and everything pop culture for the 80s to the early aughts. And this week, I have a special guest. Dun dun dun!
Yeah!
That was so quiet.
I wanted to be subtle.
No, this is Besterday. You have to go all out.
Hello. This is Jeff Benjamin. I'm Bianca's coworker.
Yeah.
Here at Fuse. I'm an editor here. I'm a features editor here. I also have a podcast, actually.
Yes, he does.
If you guys are interested in K-pop, Korean pop, it's called K-Stop. We've been running for almost a year now, and Besterday is the newest one, the newest part of the family, and we love it. And I love Besterday, and I'm happy to be here. I'm almost the ultimate 90s baby. I was born in 1989, November of 1989.
That's close.
So I'm technically
close,
an
but not
80s
enough.
baby, but anytime someone from the 80s hears that, they slap me.
No, you're too young.
So here I am.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here too. It's going to be a good one.
Me too.
Okay, so before we get started, guys, make sure you hashtag Besterday on Twitter and Instagram or wherever your heart desires. And also send us suggestions and rate us on iTunes. Follow myself, Bianca, and Rogue on Twitter. And what's your Twitter?
And I'm Jeff _ Benjamin.
Don't forget those two underscores.
Because I live a double life. Okay.
All right, let's get it started.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to kick off with our This Week in History segment. So on January 29th, 1959, Disney released the animated film Sleeping Beauty to theaters.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Classic.
But I feel like it's
Disney.
like an underrated animated film.
Well, she was always my favorite growing up
Yeah.
of the Disney princesses, probably because I thought she was the prettiest.
Oh, she's Aurora. I mean, her name is gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Right. And I mean, she hung out with like the woodland animals.
Yeah.
Little boy Jeff just really loved that Sleeping Beauty. But I don't know. I mean, you kind of think about her today, and she doesn't feel as strong,
Yeah,
as
I mean,
Mulan or
you have
Jasmine.
the bells and all that.
So she kind of she's a little underrated, I guess, but maybe not.
Like in the actual
deserving.
movie, like Maleficent has more of like a presence than Aurora herself.
I know, Maleficent, that bitch scared the hell out of me.
I was a diva, and I loved her.
Scared. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
All right, so bringing it up more to closer times because it's Super Bowl this weekend.
Right.
On February 1st, which is today actually, 2004, this is like one of the most iconic moments of Super Bowl history. Janet Jackson's breast was exposed by Justin Timberlake in the halftime show. I remember this moment as clear as day.
You were watching it?
I was
at
watching
the time?
and I was like, holy shit, her boobies are on TV. Oh my God.
Oh my. You see, what's funny is that I don't know where I was.
Yeah.
But I was not watching for some reason. And my dad was just like in the kitchen or like, in the living room by himself watching and like didn't tell anyone in our family, just like kept watching.
Just like so casual.
As if it was normal. And then later we all found out, we're like, Dad, weren't you watching that? He's like, oh yeah.
Like a boob ain't no thing, that happens all the time on TV.
I know. I think he thought like it was just like, commonplace at this point in TV, but no, Dad. In fact, it kind of, I don't know. I mean, did she ever really, really recover from it?
I feel like she didn't. Like as soon as that happened, she was blackballed from the media, which was so horrible.
Right. She wasn't at the Grammys, which were just the following week. Justin, on the other hand, was totally fine.
He was thriving.
It was not
fair at all.
Didn't he apologize like a year or two ago?
It was like a bullshit apology. Like I felt like he wasn't as sincere as he could have been.
He should have stood up. I mean, it's so sad, but and I think a lot of people agree with this, but he should have stuck with her from the beginning. She didn't throw out her boob.
No,
He's the one who ripped it out.
Yeah.
He's, if anything, just as culpable as her.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on. I don't know. I look back at that with a lot of sort of bitterness personally.
No, I'm still salty about this.
Janet already had cemented her status. You don't you don't headline the Super Bowl unless you've reached a certain pinnacle in your career.
Exactly. This was her big moment, like following like her brother Michael, and like now she's on her own.
Right. And granted, it just seemed like, the mainstream at least had
Yeah.
kind of, they had their way with her after all that. And,
Yeah.
she's released great albums after that, great songs, but I don't know. It just feels like they didn't have the impact
Still
as
like
it
a
once
burning
did.
moment in my mind. Like,
Aw, Janet. We love you
we
at
still love you,
Besterday.
Janet. All right, guys. So we're gonna move it back to some more modern news that happened this week.
Ooh,
All right,
okay.
this news story I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
So The Devil Wears Prada
Okay.
is turning into a musical,
Okay.
and do you know who's scoring it?
No, I don't.
Elton John.
Oh,
the
right.
iconic Sir Elton John.
Now, has he ever done a play before?
He has. He hasn't like actually, written plays, but he has collaborated on the Lion King musical
Right,
and
of
also
course.
Billy Elliot the musical. So he knows
Which
what
are
he's
all-
doing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
but
they all won Tony Awards, so I think he has this in the bag.
yeah, and it's probably gonna be so fun. I mean, can you
Yeah.
imagine what that? Can you imagine? There's Miranda Priestley
Yeah.
who was done by Meryl Streep, but imagine that in Broadway world.
Yeah, I kind of want Meryl Streep to actually play Miranda.
That
in the
would be
musical.
amazing.
I feel like she has a decent voice to carry it on
Oh
Broadway.
yeah, I mean she was in that what was it called, Out of the Woods?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
From a
she
couple
can do
years
it.
ago. Does she have a Tony, Meryl?
I feel like at this point she should.
She should. Does she have an EGOT? Have we not just given
come
it
on,
to her?
guys, get it together.
She
Meryl
can-
deserves all the awards.
Come on, Meryl, come through. But I do love Devil Wears Prada. I was
Yeah.
very hesitant for it for years just because it seemed very, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of chick flicks and
Yeah.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
so you didn't watch it like when the movie first came out?
No, it took me years later. I think I was at just someone's house or something.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wow, it's
Yeah.
really good. It's a great movie. It inspired me.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. Yeah, it came out in 2006, so it's like
Yeah. No,
a
I
throwback
definitely didn't
film.
watch it back then.
Speaking of throwbacks,
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is turning into an animated film. As I talk about this on Best like every week because there's always something to talk about.
The live action one.
The live action
Yeah,
one,
right.
yeah. So for the new trailer, it features Ariana Grande and John Legend's cover of Beauty and the Beast, and it's so romantic.
Is it?
I
I
like
haven't
it.
listened yet. Sorry.
I mean, it doesn't compare to Celine Dion because who can compete with Celine Dion?
Exactly.
But I feel like they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. You get the romantic.
Yeah, like you kind of
feeling.
sway like tale as old as time.
Aw.
We sing a lot on this podcast, so you can sing. You can sing whenever you want.
I'm ready to sing. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't see Ariana Grande. I mean, I don't see her at the same level as Celine.
Yeah.
Also don't actually see her at the same level as John Legend yet.
Yeah.
I think he's got that very full,
like very soulful
warm,
voice.
voice. And I was very curious. So I wish. Oh, sorry, I'm not prepared. I
It's
should have
fine.
listened.
It
But
is
you are a
fine.
fan of it. You
I
said
like
you
it,
are.
yeah.
You're feeling romantic
Yeah.
about it. Okay.
I think they did a good job. And guys, as you know, the live action Beauty and the Beast is coming on March 17th. So look out for that.
Coming soon.
And Missy Elliott, I feel like, okay, is she planning a comeback? Because she dropped her I'm Better song and video out of the blue last
Yeah.
week. And we're like, girl, what are you doing? We're not prepared for this.
We weren't. We totally weren't. I mean, yeah, she's been teasing sort of this album
Yeah.
for a while. And if you remember, she really didn't want to give a date or anything or any type of timeline. And I think it's because I think there's an album coming. I think it's just a matter of when and stuff. And maybe
she's been
this
working on this for so long.
I mean,
and
she really has.
like the
yeah.
cookbook came out. Her last album came out in 2005. Like
Yeah.
more than a decade ago.
Great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right, and she's just kind of been, and everyone was really into what was it called? The that
With
the
the
one
song
with
that she
Pharrell,
came out.
with Pharrell.
Oh, where they're from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
WTF,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that was so good. I thought that set everything in motion really
Yeah.
well, and then
And I was like, okay, I'm waiting for like an album like announcement to drop or anything.
yeah, and she just
A
kind of
year
didn't
passed.
follow up on it. But I
Yeah.
think she's kind of taking her time, biding her time, making sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
Although I'm not the biggest fan of the new track.
Neither am I. But that's not the point.
The video's incredible,
The
though.
video's great.
The video, as Missy always
mean,
does.
Her creative skills are just out of this world.
Yeah. I don't know. Missy, the song's very minimal. And Missy, I feel like, never does minimal. She does over-the-top
Yeah, like
music.
in your face.
Yes,
and
very
colorful.
animated, very, so entertaining. And this was like her. I mean, I'm glad she's trying something new, but I don't know if it was
Yeah.
almost
It didn't
successful.
blow the wig off my head as I
as
wanted it
as
to.
Missy tends to do with all
Yeah.
our wigs. Yeah.
Okay, so last up in today's news, Masaya Nakamura, he's a father of Pac-Man. He died at the age of 91.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you a big Pac-Man fan?
Yeah, because like I remember our like Windows 98 or
Yeah.
95 computer or
Yeah.
whatever it was that we had. It came with Pac-Man in the game section. Did your like computer have that?
No,
Do
we
you
didn't
remember?
have Pac-Man. We had just like the basic arcade, like the pinball game and
Oh, we had
Minesweeper.
pinball. I remember that.
I wasn't as like
We had Pac-Man though, and I think it had
Yeah.
3 levels. It's great. You know, there was like the cherry and the strawberry level.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you know what I just recently started doing. Have you heard about this on Facebook? They have these like arcade games or something.
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet.
So I tried it out. Our dear coworker Mark Sundstrom told me all about it.
Of course, Mark did. Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark because he and I then started getting really competitive with
Yeah.
like trying to beat each other's scores on Pac-Man.
Mhm.
And it's just, you know, on your computer, on your phone or whatever it might be. And I think I currently hold the record.
Ooh.
Don't. Good luck trying to beat me now, Mark.
Drama.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just like one of those games, as, you know, for lack of a better word, basic and you know, sort of by the numbers as it could be. It's still
Yeah.
fun. It's never like, I don't know. It never goes out of style.
Yeah. Guys, hashtag Besterday. Let us know if you were a big Pac-Man player as well. And rest
Yes.
in peace to Mr. Nakamura.
Yes.
All right, guys. So today's major anniversary of the week is. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The
I'm ready to
10th
be shocked.
Oh. Okay, the 10th anniversary of Timbaland's Shock Value.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe it has been 10 years
I can't.
since this bomb dropped?
It truly was a bomb.
Yeah.
It really, yeah. I mean, I'm so excited to get it. I'm so like, happy you asked me to be on this episode
Yeah.
because
Because I know you're a big Timbaland fan,
Yes.
and you're a fan of a lot of the artists featured on the album as well.
Yes,
So-
for sure.
So Shock Value was Tim's second solo album,
Right.
and it followed 1998's Tim's Bio, Life from the Basement. Not basement, but basement. So it's been a long time, you know, since he created that first album, and he kind of just took the music industry by storm when he dropped this new solo album because it is filled with hits. So many hits.
Really, it's so true.
Like almost every single track is just a banger, and there's 17 tracks on there. Like it is amazing. I mean, he obviously like set up himself as an amazing producer, but I feel like when the Shock Value album came out, he's like, okay, I could also, you know, be an amazing artist as well.
Right,
So,
and it was
yeah.
definitely like his chance to really flex what he wanted to do and the sounds
Exactly.
he wanted to explore.
Yeah.
And so many like tracks just feel like classic, like Timbaland.
Exactly.
You know?
Like some have, you know, the Middle Eastern string. Some of
Oh,
them are
yes.
like kind of like have a punk rock edge to it. Some are pop ballads. So he's diving into so many themes on this album.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite song?
Oof, I mean, I'm literally looking at the track list right now.
Yeah.
I think it's either Fantasy. Do you remember Fantasy?
Oh my
that
god.
featured Money,
Yeah.
who I didn't know like what I was even listening to. I was like
Yeah.
16, I think, when it came out. I didn't know what I was listening to. I didn't know who this Money girl was. It was like, it was just this weird, futuristic, all over the place song, but
Yeah.
it was so good and so cool and like sensual at the same time, despite how bizarre and out there her vocals were.
Mhm.
And I remember Money, I was so intrigued by this. I just loved everything I was hearing from her in this
Yeah.
track. I subscribed to her on YouTube.
Oh,
She-
so you went all out.
I went all. I
Yeah.
was totally here for Money, whoever she was. I subscribed to her on YouTube, and she had this song that was like a tease or something about it that was produced by Timbaland. I
Yeah.
think she was supposed to be like one of Tim's like new artists or whatever, and she just sort of never went anywhere. But there was like this another really wonky, crazy song,
Yeah.
and you know it was obviously kind of tough just keep up with her because her name was so generic as Money.
Yeah. Well,
So anytime I'd Google her, I'd be like, oh, okay.
yeah,
this
this
is
is kind of hard to
so-
find.
But it's between that one and the Bombay song.
Oh, I didn't know you were
Bombay.
gonna pick that one. I thought you were gonna pick Scream.
We'll get to Scream. We should
Okay.
totally break
Yeah,
down the
we'll break
singles.
down all the singles, but yeah,
But
we're getting into the deep cuts right now.
But Bombay was so cool too because I had never I feel like the sort of Middle Eastern Indian
Yeah.
influences had we heard that in a couple tracks. If you even think of like Big Pimpin', like
Yeah,
had
like that's
those
like
feels.
his kind of like his signature style.
Right, or like
Yeah.
like there were songs like that sort of on the radio, but this was I thought really cool because it was a sample mixed with like actual like hip hop rappers and
Yeah.
like Timbaland's really good at those like vocal layerings and things like that, and so there's a lot of like that going on. I just like my mom loves that song 'cause my mom
Oh.
did belly dancing classes
Your
when
mom
I
has
was younger.
Great taste.
So like we'd play it, she'd be like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
a great belly dancing song."
That is so cute.
So those are probably my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think my like all-time favorite on the album is Bounce
Oh,
with
okay.
JT, Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
and Missy Elliott
And
because
Missy, right.
like you play that song at a party, at a function, barbecue, your mom's
A
like your
function.
sister's baby shower, it'll go off.
Yeah.
Like it is such a banger. And like I don't know, Timbaland, he just has this like inkling for creating a track that just like sends like electric
Yeah.
feelings in you. Like it's such a great. It's like a well-produced song. Justin Timberlake, he sounds awesome. Missy Elliott comes through with like this crazy rap verse. Dr. Dre is also dope as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
like, what a team up, too,
Yeah, right? And like he always has a power to bring, artists that you might not ever think of to put on a song, but
Yeah.
it just ends up working.
But it's never, like, forced, in my
Yeah,
opinion. It
yeah,
always
it just
works
flows
out
so
really
well.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, good choice.
Yeah. And then my other favorite one
Yes.
is Time featuring She Wants
Oh,
Revenge.
I was not expecting that one.
They're like a post-punk revival band.
Yeah.
And it's like it's definitely a song that you would never expect from Tim because
No.
it has like this like very like chilling like icy rock feel to it, and it's such a great song.
Wow. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that, Bianca.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know. I had to throw a curveball at you.
After I threw Bombay into the ring.
I had to pick Time. All right, so we're going to break down these singles because
Yes.
there are a lot of them.
Are there really that many? Oh,
There
you're
are
right.
5.
Really? All
Yeah,
right.
but we'll break down like all the major ones that everyone
Yes.
knows. So the first one,
Shade to Nicole Scherzinger.
I love Jersey. What are you talking about?
Right. Okay.
So
Kicked it off.
Nicole,
with,
if you're listening to this, we love you.
we do.
But okay, Give It to Me.
Give it to me.
That was the first single off that
First
album.
one with his main bays at the time.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake and Nelly Furtado.
They were. I mean, when the album came out in 2007, like everyone was on the top of their game already.
Yeah.
Like Nelly was riding high on Promiscuous and like all
Say
her
it
amazing
right.
songs.
Yeah.
And then JT just put out Features Like Love Sounds.
Yeah.
And that was just dominating the charts. So it was like the collaboration was bound to happen.
Yeah.
And the song, I think I love it because, like, of course, I'm a shady person. And Nelly,
Oh. I was wondering if you were
allegedly-
going to get into this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. This is what I'm all about. You
It's
know this.
history. It's
It is
history of Besterday.
So Nelly was allegedly talking about Fergie in
Yeah.
her verse. JT was allegedly talking about Prince.
Right.
We seen you on the charts
Gosh.
last week. That's right. You wasn't there.
Yeah.
Burn. And
Right.
then Timbaland was talking about Scott Storch, which is also a producer.
Oh.
So there was just shade all about throughout this record,
Right.
and I lived for it.
I didn't know how many levels of shade there were.
Yeah.
I did hear about the Nelly and Fergie thing
Mhm.
because then Fergie supposedly went on the Daddy Yankee song. Do you remember this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
She did it was a song or maybe a remix or something.
Yeah.
And she referred to saying, I'm gonna pull your wig back.
Oh, snap.
Coming for Nelly's literal wig. And
Because Fergie will go there with you. Don't play.
right. So I loved that. I didn't know
Yeah.
about the other elements. I did hear about
Yeah.
Prince after he died though.
Mm.
Because people were like, why is JT being
Yeah, when he
You know.
like shaded his chart positions on a song. God.
Yeah, I did like the song. It was
Mhm.
definitely on my mix CDs back then for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was Timbaland's best beat, which
Mhm.
I was kind of surprised by given how big of, he was making it out to be.
Yeah, cause like it was even Grammy nominated, so people
It
were like,
was?
yeah, and they performed it at the Grammys that year
Did they
too.
really? Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe it was just something. Maybe, I don't know. Something about the beat always just felt a little unfinished to me. But
Mhm.
maybe it's because it was more about
Like
the
the hype
lyrics and
and
the
yeah, all
hype and
that.
things like that.
Yeah.
But that's not to say he didn't disappoint moving forward, though,
Yeah.
with the other singles.
Because The Way I Are came
Oh my
out and
gosh.
everyone
Ever
everyone was in shock.
huge single,
It
game
is
changing.
such
I
a
think
great record. I feel like
so great.
this was, if I'm not wrong, this was the first time we heard Carrie Hilson like on a track, like on a mainstream song.
It's definitely like yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she wasn't. The Kanye song didn't come out before then, right?
No, I think that came out the year after,
Yeah.
2008.
So I think it was Carrie's big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, who the hell is Carrie Hilson? But I mean, I still say that, but
Oh, Carrie, if you're listening, we love you. Um, but yeah, this track
Yeah.
was so big. I mean,
it
we
is
had
an
never had.
amazing song.
We've never.
Yeah.
I feel like radio hadn't heard those synthesizers like that.
No.
Those really futuristic sounding.
Yeah.
Male, female, switch off. I mean, I just remember being floored by this track when I heard
Mhm.
it myself,
Yeah.
and then hearing it on the radio and hearing how big it got on radio.
Mhm.
I was so.
It was such a dominating
I
song.
love it. It's such a good song. And I don't know if anyone else remember. This is a really obscure. This is for like the internet blog kids, who also.
Yeah.
But they put out so many versions of this
Oh,
song.
really?
There was a rock version. There was a
Oh.
French version. There
Wow.
was a. I don't even know what kind of version. Like they were putting out new. There were times when Carrie's vocals would get replaced
Yeah.
with a new artist. Sometimes when Tim's vocals would get replaced. This song like went so
Oh.
global. I
That is
highly
really
suggest
cool.
the French version is fascinating.
Okay.
And the rock version, those were my two favorites.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was like, these artists I could look it up real quick, but like, yeah, they just
Yeah.
like were these, really random, but really awesome remixes.
Yeah,
that I
that's a
was
really
just-
cool. Oh yeah, I'm looking. There are literally like 12 versions of remixes.
all over the place. The French and the rock one were
Oh
my,
my God.
favorites.
There's a Japanese version. There's an
Is there a Japanese
instrumental,
version? No way.
The Spanish version.
The Spanish version.
Timbaland versus Nephew, the One Republic remix. Like,
There you go.
this is intense.
No, I'm telling you, they went all over the place with that song. And it
Yeah,
was
and
so
like it
good.
dominated radio. It peaked at number 3 at the Billboard Hot 100. It went
Yeah.
3 times platinum, which a
Yeah.
lot of artists can't reach today. So that is
Yeah.
a big feat.
No, I love. Can't say enough about that track.
Same.
So good.
All right, so moving on to another hot fire single is Apologize.
Mm.
It's too late to apologize.
One Republic's big break.
Yeah.
Ryan Tedder's big break.
Mm-hmm. So were you like a big fan of that song? 'Cause I wasn't, because I heard it on radio so much, like going to
Yeah.
high school and stuff.
It definitely got watered down, right?
Yeah.
It like I mean, I still think, at its core, it's a great pop song. It's
Yeah.
a great, because that song, correct me if I'm wrong, but it existed on its own, and Timbaland,
And then Timbaland picked it
brought
up. And,
One Republic and them
yeah,
under
and
his
like
wing.
he put like his little
And he put his
magic
beats
touch.
and that was that, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
Because I think I think it's a good pop song, and I think we're all just so. Anytime someone says it's too late, or like apologize,
Yeah.
everyone's mind automatically goes there.
Yeah,
You still can't get away from it.
It kind of definitely branded itself in 2007 pop history, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
It definitely came out during the winter when everyone was sad and
like in
cold.
their feelings, and
Yes.
emotional.
Exactly. But I still think, at its core, it's a good pop song,
Yeah.
even if we all can't stand it now.
Yeah. And your favorite,
Oh boy.
Scream.
Now I thought this was the last single, but I'm curious to hear what the next one is.
Yeah,
but
there's one more.
Scream, my little once again like a
Yeah.
blog moment. I remember like
Oh,
I-
so did you have like your own like personal blog?
see at this time
Mhm.
no, I was just like obsessed with like LiveJournal
Oh, got it.
and random blogs,
Yeah.
like, that this was like just as the age of blog, and like all the, everyone was putting up illegal links. I wasn't buying music. This was all downloaded.
Yeah, I remember those days with like LimeWire and all
it was
that.
so
Yeah.
easy. Yeah. And I remember there was this like post about this song,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh no, like the girl from the Pussycat Dolls, she's like doing solo stuff. Like I'm always here for a girl group member to do some solo stuff. And then they had this Carrie Hilson, who I never heard of, and this song was just so weird but great, and like
no, they sound amazing on the track.
Sensual. And I feel like you don't usually get two female vocalists on one song.
I feel like it's hard. Like a lot of females, they like to compete with one another, but I feel like they both found their pocket on the song.
They did,
and they carried it so well.
And and I loved that they had their own verses, which were very different, and I thought both of them were very suited for their own verses. But then they sang together on the chorus, which like I would love to hear that more in like pop music.
Yeah.
And this track was just so special in that way. I think I heard it on the radio like once, and I was like dying. I was like, oh my gosh, my favorite. And then I feel like it didn't perform very well.
No, I feel like it's one of those, those fan favorite tracks.
Yeah, totally.
Despite it, not being a huge radio smash, but then that's not always, the most important thing.
Yeah, but I remember the video even. Do you remember the video? They're like being like burglars or something.
I did not know there was a video.
There's a video.
Wow.
Check it out, Nicole.
Shame on me.
They look great. They have like burglar masks on.
Oh,
It's quite sexy. Nicole is working a ponytail. I still like listen to this song every now and then, and I'm like, if I'm feeling like in a weird mood, I'm like, scream.
That's the one to go to. Okay, so the fifth and final single is actually Throw It On Me, which features the Hives.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so they're a Swedish garage rock band, if you guys didn't know, and it kind of mixes like rock and disco and hip hop like fused into one song.
It's very like frenetic.
Yeah, it was a very ambitious move for Timbaland, because once you mix like too many genres in like one pot, it doesn't really work well. But I feel like this song, it did really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think once again it was just like, I feel like if anything he was like, okay, well, if like Scream wasn't gonna do that well, like I'm just gonna go out on a bang and just like show you guys like how weird like this album really is, because like I totally forgot that one came out. It was like rap rock, but not really.
It wasn't like rap rock in the form of like Limp Bizkit rap rock. It was
just cool. I don't know, like I think about that like Jay-Z Linkin Park album, which is a great album, by the way.
Love Collision Course.
Collision Course, great. And it felt like in that vein to me too, like a partnership that actually made sense, not some weird bizarre hybrid.
It was very fluid.
And like good note to end on, I feel like, too.
Same, I agree. Well, shout out to Timbaland for blessing us with this amazing shock value album.
Yeah. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
What did you think then of Shock Value 2?
Well, clearly it didn't live up to Shock Value 1.
Right.
I mean, I love Carry Out with JT and Tim, and Say Something
the song
with Drake.
About relating every sexual innuendo to fast food. Can't say I got into that one. But
it's a cool beat. It makes you bop a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
there was I agree, Tim. I was very curious what people think of Shock Value 2.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's some good tracks, but ultimately, Shock Value is where it's at.
That's the Big Daddy. All right, guys. So we also have another special guest on this week of Besterday. Kehlani stopped by on the offices. Do you listen to Kehlani's music?
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I haven't gotten to listen to the new album in full.
Yeah.
Sweet Sexy Savage.
Sweet
Sexy Savage.
Yeah, it's kind of like the modern version of like TLC's Crazy Sexy Cool.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of. Well, I mean, I got that when I read it initially, but now that you say it out loud, it all makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, she has like this very like sultry 90s vibe, which is why like I wanted her on the podcast.
Yeah. So. How was it meeting with her?
She is a doll. She's so sweet, and like I like that she's so laid back and chills. You can like really connect with her.
Yeah, really?
She's very relatable.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, so guys, she dropped her debut album Sweet Sexy Savage last week, and then she stopped by the offices to talk about everything 90s. So here is Kehlani on Besterday. Okay, Okay, so me being a fan of you, since you should be here, I always hear like Aaliyah influences in your music, and even with Sweet Sexy Savage, on personal, you sample Come Over. So I wanted to know, like, where did you get that idea from to sample that song?
Well, my producer interpolated the song into the beat, and I love the beat, and it was so sick. I didn't listen to that much Aaliyah growing up. It just was something that was thrown into my mix and thrown into my playlist. But the beat was super sick, so.
Nice. And even with Too Much, when I first heard that song, I was like, wait, this sounds like Timbaland was in the studio, like, making the beat, blah, blah. Then
I played it for Timbaland, and he was like,
did you
"These
really?
are my drums."
That's so dope. Because I listened to the credits, and I was like, wait, it samples More Than a Woman.
Yeah,
And
the
I was
drums.
like, that is perfect.
Super
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, so, I mean, you say you're not, like, a huge fan of Aaliyah, but what song would you say was, like, one of your favorites from her?
I did love More Than a Woman.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, it's, like, one of her
And
classics.
Try Again was probably my favorite. Try Again was definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
That little baby was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, even there's always like a lot of 90s influences in your music and in your videos. And I was watching Distraction the other day, and that totally reminded me of Say My Name from
That was
Destiny's
inspiration,
Child. Yeah,
definitely.
with like all the different rooms and the
Yeah.
like the different colors. So, if you could recreate like any like classic 90s music video, what would you choose?
We always joke about recreating this video. The Tony Braxton Wasn't Man Enough video. I love the wall.
Yeah.
And like the hallway and like the lights and like I always wanted everybody had a 90s video in one of them crazy rooms where all the floor and all the ceiling was all the same color. Like why don't people do that anymore?
You
like,
should bring that back. Bring it back.
Come on, y'all. Can I get a light broom that turn colors? Like I've literally been asking for that for so long. So any directors out there, feel free to hit me up if you got like a light room, you know what I'm saying? Like let's get it cracking. I'm gonna be on your camera like this. Like oh yeah.
I think I would do Missy Elliott's Beat Me 911, where they look like Barbies and they're playing in the box.
Missy Elliott just had the greatest videos of all time. Like that's just fact, standard, known.
Yeah,
she's
like, did you watch her new video?
Yeah, she just can't fail. Like it don't even matter. Like I feel like it's one of those things that you can't even talk about. Like you know, people are like, okay, well, you know, she's an older artist, and like you can't put her in the competition of like streams or sales or numbers and things. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like she literally will always set the bar and set the tone for like greatness, no matter what is going on in music.
She is an icon.
It doesn't even matter, bro. Like everything she does is like ridiculous. Like that's a dream collaboration of mine.
So you want to collaborate with Missy? Who else would you like to collaborate with? Like from that classic 90s era?
Yeah, me and Missy Elliott make something crazy.
Put it out in the universe, maybe it'll
Definitely. I would love to make a song of Music Soul Child.
Oh, that would be dope.
I think that would be so tight and sweet and nice, and my mom would lose her mind. My mom would just fall over, y'all. It'd be crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna switch it up to something a little bit, past the music. So I watch a lot of cartoons, like even I still watch like Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, Rugrats. Even me being 25, like that was my favorite shows. So what did you like to grow up with watching TV?
I watched all the 90s cartoons. I actually have a Rocket Power tattoo.
Oh yeah, I remember
on my
that.
leg.
Yeah.
Rocket Power was my favorite, and I just felt like that was me. Like I was the girl. I was one of the bros with all the guys.
Yeah.
Only one on a skateboard with everybody. Only one who always had bruises and cuts everywhere and was dirty as hell. So yeah, that Ren and Stimpy, All Real Monsters, Angry Beavers was my wave.
Yeah.
I watched all the ridiculous,
like all the silly
Cat
ones.
Dog. Yeah, I was stupid. Cat Scratch, all
Yeah.
those ones. Yeah, those are my favorites, probably.
Nice. And I know, did you watch Hey Arnold too? Because they're coming out with like another movie.
Are they? They
Yes,
should
they
call me
are.
to be a voice. That's my dream. I want to do
so dope.
voiceovers.
Cool. And what else I was gonna say? So if you could have like any, like you know, you have like a lot of tattoos already. Would you want to put like another 90s inspired one? Because you have the Lauren, you have the Rocket Power. I mean, do you have space?
I have a lot of space, actually, contrary to popular belief. I have,
Yeah.
I have a lot of space, but sometimes when I wear high heels, I look at my Rocket Power tattoo and I find it hilarious. But I don't think I want to get any more cartoons necessarily. I do want a Betty Boop tat.
That'd be cute.
Really bad, because Shorty was fire. But, I don't know. If I feel like it one day, I get tattoos pretty spontaneously. I'll be like, oh, I want to do this, and then literally go get it that day. So, because I'll just itch until I get it, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was me because I got an Alice in Wonderland tattoo the other day. I was like,
sick.
I got it on Martin Luther King Day, and I was like, oh, I'll just get it. Like, there's nothing, like, we're off on work. I was like, let me just hit up this tattoo parlor and get it.
Sick.
So, yeah, it's all about spontaneity.
Yeah, cool. Get it. You're going to love it forever.
Exactly.
It's going to remind you of that day. So.
Yeah.
Sick.
All right, guys, so that was Kehlani. Shout out to her once again for coming on the podcast.
Yeah. That was great.
All right, so this is my favorite segment of this podcast.
It's my favorite segment too.
Really?
Yeah. I was looking forward to it.
It's the song of the week.
I was thinking about it.
Song of the week. I need to make like a jingle to this because I am obsessed with like hearing everyone's like picks for this segment.
Yeah, we could make one up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Besterday. Song of the week.
Boom, there it is.
Copyrighted.
All right, so you go first because I always like my co-host to go first.
All right. So just something I'm digging, right? A throwback.
Yeah, whatever you're feeling in your heart.
So I had this like I went on a trip. I was out of town like a week or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was with these, it's so random, but like just friends I met on a vacation once, and I was staying with them.
Yeah.
And we just got into this very nostalgic like moment of just like going through all these artists that I think I'm pretty good about being good at the throwback stuff, but like even some I forgot. But one that really stuck with me after our little conversation was, and the song I keep playing over and over, so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great song, was Stacey Orico. Oh
my God. You know what's funny? Brooke, who was on the podcast last week, she also chose Stacey Orico. So I'm going to see if you guys had the same song.
Brooke, I'm going to kill. She clearly heard me singing Stacey Orico at my desk. Okay, well, the song I'm currently bopping to a lot is I'm Not Missing You.
Okay, because she chose Stuck.
Of course she did. She doesn't go as deep as I do.
Drama.
Just kidding. But if you remember, if I'm not Missing You was actually supposed to be it was the lead single of her Beautiful Awakening album from 2006. It was supposed to be the next album that was supposed to push her forward in career. I don't think it actually ever came out in America.
No, I don't remember.
But it was so good. I, of course, downloaded it illegally on one of the blogs or something. It came out same year as Shock Value, actually. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It came out year before Shock Value.
Yeah.
I still think, gosh, we should not be in 2016. I got to get my mind
on
it.
No, we're in February.
But I don't know. Stacey Orico, I don't think a lot of people even know this, but she honestly is such a good singer.
She
and
is.
like had so many, everyone knows Stuck, of course, and knows There's Gotta Be More to Life, and very pop oriented time, but she had so much R&B in her, so much soul. There is this like really incredible like YouTube clip. I literally downloaded the YouTube clip because I was so obsessed with it. It was her someone was recording her in the studio. Some guy was talking, but she was singing this new song that I think was either meant for Beautiful Awakening or some album after that. But she sounds perfect. Like going through all the vocals, going through all the leaps, every note is just on point. And I was like obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, this girl is such a good singer, technically. Yeah. Just like a great singer. And I don't know. And so I'm Not Missing You is just, I don't know, it's really sweet and fun.
That. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, it's
cool.
There's some really nice like messages in it. Like in the end she's like, it's the best day of my life. I'm like, yes, it's the best day of my life too. I'm not
Stacey,
missing you,
I
baby.
feel you, girl.
So that is my, oh my gosh, well, I hope I don't feel redundant as a Besterday guest.
No, it's fine. I always like to shine light on Stacey Orico.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Are you ready for my
I'm
pick?
ready.
This is so random.
I'm ready.
Okay, so as I always do, I watch YouTube videos from the late 90s, early 2000s, and I was watching like Good Charlotte and like Franz Ferdinand and the Donnas, and like on the side of YouTube, like the recommended videos come up. Yeah. So a particular one came up and I was like, whoa, I totally forgot about this song. Okay, so it is I can't even get this out. It is I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The
Oh.
Darkness.
You think people forgot about that song?
I feel like people did. Like, it was such an amazing track. I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to her. I believe in a thing called love.
See, fun fact about that story is
Yeah.
that so I was all right. Time to expose myself. I
Okay.
was in an a cappella group in college,
Oh.
and yeah, I was a bass, low
Ooh.
voice, and we actually so our thing, perfect for this podcast was
Yeah.
it was just fun pops, like fun songs that everyone could like sing along to that were hits now, or like classic songs that we knew other people would like from literally everything from like For the Longest Time,
wow.
like old doo-wop-y to
Yeah.
like current pop stuff and
Uh-huh.
like recent, but we did I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Someone arranged it, and we
Yeah.
had this crazy guy who could hit all the notes and was like,
Those notes are high AF.
I
So
know. I
kudos
tried
to
out.
him.
I tried out for the solo, and I was just screaming,
Yeah.
in my dorm room, sounding like a banshee. I'm sure,
gosh.
but yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, that song came out in 2003. I remember seeing the
2003?
video. Yeah, it's
Wow.
kind of old. Like, I remember
I definitely
I
thought it
was
was like a
in-
2006 emo
No.
moment, with the Fall Out Boys.
yeah, it
and-
came out when I was in 7th grade. Oh my god.
2000
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade in 2003.
Wow. Yeah, because I went to boarding school, and like we always went into like the living area because it had a TV.
Oh,
Like after we ate lunch, and
Yeah.
like TV shows were always on. Like we always watched like TRL.
no.
Like TRL was like still a thing back then. And I
Of
remember this like seeing this video premiere. I was like, who is this wacky British guy like wearing basically no clothes,
Right.
exposing himself on this television? And I
It
was so
was
intrigued.
the darkness.
The Darkness. Yeah. So shout out to The Darkness. Guys, let us know. #Besterday if you guys remember the amazing I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yeah, I always love when people send like random songs at me. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
the song was
It's
incredible.
like it kind of takes you back to that moment in time. Like,
Yes, of course,
yeah,
of course.
I love that feeling, which is why I have the podcast. But yeah. All right, so that is a wrap.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me. I hope Besterday listeners like me.
Yeah, of course, I love you. And also, guys, check out his K-Stop podcast as well. I'll put the link
Yeah.
in the post when this comes up.
Fuse.tv, baby.
Oh, yeah, get that promo. And also #Besterday on Twitter and Instagram, and also rate us on iTunes. Again, follow myself, Bianca and Rogue on Twitter.
And I'm Jeff _ Benjamin. Don't forget the 2
Yeah.
underscores.
2 underscore, guys. That's very important. All right, that is wrap. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.